It's 6 o'clock, and I'm calling the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of July 18th, 2024 to order. May we begin with roll call?
I'm sorry, pardon me, go ahead. Go got it. Rolando Cáceres?
Present.
Sorry, somebody asked me a question.
My bad, for the record, my bad.
It's all right, already delayed.
Cindy E. Cantu, Manuel A. Rangel,
Present.
Johnny Narvaez,
Present.
Jean Bermudez, Regina Portillo,
Present.
Daniela Sadapaz, Adolfo G. Martinez,
Present.
and Hector J. Garcia.
Present.
For the record, Mr. Chairman, you do have a quorum.
Thank you. May we have a motion to excuse those commissioners who are not present today?
Motion to excuse?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Against? Motion carries. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving on to consider the approval of the special meeting of July 3rd, 2024.
Motion to accept the minutes for the July the 3rd?
Do you have a motion? Second by Commissioner Martinez. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Any citizen comments? Just the cards.
Just a card there.
Okay. Can I have a motion to open public hearing?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Moving on to public hearing, recommendation of ordinance, item 6A, amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by revoking a conditional use permit for an impound lot on lots 3 and 4, block 807, Eastern Division, located at 306 and 316 South Meadow Avenue, pursuant to the City of Laredo Land Development Code, section 24.94.10A1, entitled revocation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the background on February 1st, 2016. City Council approved of a conditional use permit for an impound lot on lots 3 and 4, block 807, Eastern Division, located at 306 and 316 South Meadow Avenue. Citations that were issued on December 12, 2017. They were issued a citation for using a B1 zoning district as an auto impound yard, inoperable vehicle holding yard, and having a sheet metal fence, which is not allowed by the City of Laredo Land Development Code. On April 25th, 2023, they had citations that were issued for not having all areas used for storage of vehicles fully paved, which is required as per the CUP, and having inoperable or junk vehicles stored, which is prohibited as per the CUP. On August 31st, 2023, the citations that were issued were not having all areas used for storage of vehicles fully paved, which is required as per the CUP, and having inoperable or junk or partially dismantled vehicles stored, which is prohibited as per the CUP. And the criteria for revocation: the City of Laredo Land Development Code section 24.94.10A1 states violation of any of the conditions of the conditional use permit, if not corrected to the satisfaction of the city, within 90 days of the owner having received written notice of the violation and the means necessary to correct it. And more background. On June 10th, 2024, City Council directed staff to proceed with the initiation of the revocation process. And Legal Department has expressed that pursuit of revocation of the conditional use permit demonstrates exhaustion of available remedies prior to initiation of alternative legal enforcement measures. This is the straight view of 306 and 316 South Meadow Avenue. Aerial view. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. So this is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in regards to this revocation is the person who has a CUP. Is he present?
We're not sure. We have not had any contact. He has not made any contact with our department. We did send a certified letter advising them of this process. However, he has not made any contact with us.
So I know that this is never, I mean, as long as I've been here, and I think we made a comment in the last meeting that we've never had a CUP revoked.
This is our inaugural, first one.
Is there anyone who wishes to speak in regards to the revocation? If not, are there any questions from the commission in regards to this item?
No questions.
If not, what sort of action would the commission like to take?
Motion to recommend the approval of the conditional use permit revocation.
We have a motion
I second that motion.
and a second. All in favor?
I'm gonna recuse myself from the vote.
So how many ayes by show of hands? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And we have one
Abstention.
abstention? Okay. Thank you. Moving on to item 6B.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
We're good? Thank you.
yes.
Item 6B, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning Lot 1A, Block 936, Eastern Division, located at 1701 East O'Kane Street, from R1 Single Family Residential District to R2 Multifamily Residential District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant J. Cruz Properties LLC as the owner, and we have Juan J. Cruz as the applicant. Property location, Lot 1A, Block 936, Eastern Division, located at 1701 East O'Kane Street. Zone change request is from an R1 to R2. Proposed use is residential for 5 attached condominiums. Letter sent were 16. We have none for and 2 against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. Let the record show that Commissioner Salazar was present at 6:06.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item?
For the record, Juan Cruz, do you have a presentation, my approach?
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can also project it on the screen.
Thank you.
Well, that'd be a little bit fancy for me. Let me just quickly go through it. I know you have other items. So for the record, Juan Cruz, owner of J. Cruz Properties. On page 2 of the materials that I gave you is basically a description of what the property is. It's currently zoned as R1, and I'm requesting it to be zoned to R2. On the next page, you see the signage that was properly placed as required by ordinance. And the following slide on page 4 is basically what stated earlier. The proposal is to build 5 units on over 17,500 square feet. The property does meet the dimensional standards that are required, and R2 zoning does allow for the projected condominiums as well. On the next page, you see the property location and you see an aerial view. On the following page, which is on page 6, you see a more, a bigger outline of the property. On page 7, importantly, you see basically 1505 O'Kane in relation to the subject property 1701 O'Kane, and you see Los Balcones Apartments, which is really kind of a block away from the subject property. On the page 8, you see 1803 Reynolds, which is really in back of the property, and you see clearly that it shows a picture of multifamily units as well. And on page 9, you see more multifamily units on 1917 Clark Boulevard as well. Page 10 is a description of my company, the properties company, and what we own, which is there for the record. We have no adverse claims and is current with all payment of taxes and assessments. I'm an owner and product of Laredo Schools, Nixon High School in particular. On page 11, been practicing law for close to 28 years, graduated from the University of Houston Law Center, and also own a law firm that's based in town with 12 attorneys with offices here in Corpus and in San Antonio. On page 12, you see the current 1701 O'Kane Street, which is an empty lot. And on page 13, you see the site plan of what I've been working with the architects in terms of what it will be like, which is basically 2 stories, and you see the living and then the living space and then the bedrooms upstairs. And on page 14, you see the design of the condominiums itself. So I think just to close is, I'm respectfully requesting to go from an R1 to an R2. I do feel that this is also an issue of affordability. As we all know, Laredo prices are pretty high, and living in an area that's central in Laredo, in a historical neighborhood, is not easy to come by. So therefore, building homes that are more affordable for people that maybe want to start a family and be rightly located by a school of their choice, which is Ryan Elementary, would benefit people that could not necessarily move into a single family unit household in the Heights area. Thank you.
Are there any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, one quick question regarding parking. It looks like, so it's a 2-car garage, but theoretically, could you also fit 2 additional cars on the driveway?
Correct. It'd
Okay.
be the garage, and then you have a little space to go up.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions for the applicant?
No. Not at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak against this item?
My name is Michael Galo. I live at 1602 Clark, which is 1 block away from this property. This is a quarter of a block property. It used to be the residential home of the Holloways, and then Becklehammer bought it, and it had a fire and burned down. This property is too small for 5 condominiums. It's going to be a nightmare for parking. She said that they have enough parking, but it's going to end up on the street. If you go 1 block north of Seymour on O'Kane, you can't drive down that street without stopping to let somebody else get by, because there's cars on both sides. They told me one of the reasons they wanted to let this property be transferred because it was always dirty and trashy. Well, the property doesn't grow trash. The trash comes from the Bolero, which is right down the street. So that's not going to solve the problem. We've been through this once before, a long time ago, with residential property. They promised us we'd never change it again. Here we are. There's no reason to do this. They can do it any other where, but why do they have to do it here? I went down the street myself, from my house to Malinche. I talked to maybe half of the homeowners that came out actually to answer the door. None of them are in favor of this, not one, because they know what's going to happen. So I can't believe that we're actually even talking about this. Anything else you want to know? Any questions?
No. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, thank you for having me back. You guys already heard from me at the last meeting, so I'll keep it brief. My name's Keith Franklin. I'm an attorney here in Laredo. I represent Louis Lavode and also Dr. Michael Galo, who you just heard from. Mr. Lavode resides at 1710 Clark Boulevard, which is the backdoor neighbor to Mr. Cruz's property. Dr. Galo is on the next adjoining block So both of these homeowners have lived at their respective homes in the Heights neighborhood for a very long time. And despite maybe where some lots have appeared to have multifamily uses, the character of the surrounding neighborhood and a very large sprawl of the zoning map in the city of Laredo in this area is zoned for R1 for single-family dwellings. And if this were to be changed to an R2, it's going to be on its own island, and the next closest R2 designation is a good bit away. And my client's fear is that if this were allowed to change to an R2, it's just going to be the first domino that falls that will eventually change the character of a very historic neighborhood in Laredo. We talked about parking, but in addition to that, traffic, we believe would increase significantly in the area, and it's simply not a neighborhood that was designed for that. And Mr. Cruz is a friend and a colleague of mine, and if his goal is to build a rental property, I think that there's a way that everyone can mutually benefit here. He'd still be able to build a rental property on there. It would just have to be a single-family dwelling. It wouldn't be able to be 5 condominiums, and everybody could win in that scenario versus a single landowner and the rest lose. So I remain, on behalf of my clients, opposed to the application, and we'd urge the commission to vote no on item 6B.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question for staff. In the aerial, you can see, like, what is it, 1619? Is it okay? Or Mendiola? I don't know which one it is. It looks like a,
1602 is Meadow in Clark.
it says Mendiola and O'Kane. 1619.
So 16.
19. That would be like the,
It's okay.
okay?
Yes.
And what is there? It looks like a big property.
It's a
with-
single family.
It's a single family? My dear.
So I have a question for staff. So staff's not supporting the zone change recommendation.
No.
Taking into fact that he wants to build 5 condominiums, parking, traffic, all that was taken into consideration as far as part of your all's.
Yeah, we thoroughly reviewed, as we do all cases, and we review primarily for consistency with our comprehensive plan and any other adopted plans, compatibility with the surrounding zoning and surrounding uses, traffic, any other impacts that the proposed use may have. So, yeah, we did.
Real quick, but by saying that, the 17, in that area, there is apartments.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
he's complying with everything that was asked of him, yes or no, in that property? It fits, complying in the sense
in a
that
sense-
it's big enough to build 5, he's within,
We did not review for parking or any of that. With
Okay.
zone cases, we don't review site plan review.
and the question I asked you all last time, the properties that are in the area, 1701,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
what are they on, an R1 or R2? Or
If
conditional
you
use
look at
permit, what is
the,
it?
can we put up the zoning map? If you see the,
5 balcones.
large swath, right? If just to the west of the property, I guess the middle lot between Seymour and Meadow Avenue, those are apartments. I think he identified as Los Balcones. We did check into those. It is zoned R1, and it seems that those were constructed prior to. So those would be considered for all intents and purposes legal non-conforming. They were recently remodeled, and when we saw them, we're like, holy, what, how is this seemingly new structure here? So that was something that we took into consideration. If you look north of the site, approximately 1 block, it is zoned R3. So it allows for multifamily, mobile homes, all the rest of it. There There are,
One block away to what?
if you look at the zoning map, north of the site, you see all that yellow? That's all R1, right? But one block north, all that brown, that's R3, right? So that zone will allow for apartments and mobile homes. We noticed that there were some south of the site, south of Clark, east of the church, we saw multifamily, and that is zoned R1. We don't know why is that? All we can assume is that it was either constructed prior to the ordinance, but it is still zoned R1, so there are multifamily there. We did see other instances. There's a duplex, another block east of it. And again, that is zoned R1. So these are all sort of multifamily, but they're still zoned R1. Again, we didn't do an exhaustive search of when all these different uses were constructed. So there are some, other than single family, in the vicinity that are in the R1 zoning. And we did not see any conditional use permits or special use permits that would authorize the multifamily of those. So all we can do is assume that they were constructed prior to the ordinance.
Based on the size of the lot, how many lots could he replat into single lots, based on the size it is currently now?
For single family,
Yes.
it requires 6,000. So if it's 17,000, what, three?
Three?
No,
Two?
two.
We got three on there.
He wouldn't make the third one.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I have a question for Mr. Cruz.
Yes.
Mr. Cruz, on the site plan and I guess the rendering, we don't see the south-facing part of the building. Could you describe to us, or do you have anything you can show us to let us know on the south side of the property, which would be facing a single-family home? Are there windows? Is there a balcony on the second floor? What does that look like?
No, it's just gonna be kind of straight up, and you'll have a little bit of a yard for each of the townhomes or the condominiums. And they're not gonna be, I think, there was a misstatement that there would be rentals. They're not gonna be rentals. They're gonna be, people are gonna be able to own the condominiums. Yeah.
And on the second floor, are there windows on the south side?
There'll be the windows that are required by city ordinance, but I get that, so long as we meet the requirements of the ordinance, but obviously, I'm not a fan of windows, especially how hot it gets in Laredo. Sure.
My concern is more on the privacy of the single-family
Sure,
home that is
yeah.
south.
We'll address those issues through the design process.
I have a question. Would you be willing to replat and do two single-family homes in lieu of the condominiums?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about that, obviously working with numbers and architects and stuff, and I think at this point, I would not be able to kind of make the numbers work, but you
Okay. My stand is just historically, this is an R1 zone property, and historically these are established neighborhoods. And a lot of times, the people who have been in these neighborhoods have been here for a long time, and they intend for it to stay the way it is. So it's very difficult for me to support an item where it's an established R1 area where the zone is properly intended for that use. So that's just my stance on this situation here. Are there any other questions? If not, what sort of action would the commission like to take?
Make a motion to close, or close the,
Public hearing.
and make a motion to change it from an R1 to an R2.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
I abstain
Okay.
for the record.
Abstain as well.
So we have two abstentions, one against, and how many ayes? 4. 1, 2.
So, 4
Four.
ayes.
I don't know if that passed muster.
1, 2, 3, 4,
So we have 4 ayes,
yes.
2 abstentions, and 1 against.
No.
Right.
4,
4 and 2.
Yeah,
4
1, 2.
against 2, and 1 abstention.
2 abstentions.
Two abstentions.
2 abstentions.
2 abstentions. Yeah.
So it fails, right?
I'm sorry, so who abstained?
Commissioner Rangel and Commissioner Martinez.
Abstain. So we had 4 in favor, 2 abstained, and 1 opposed?
Yes.
I think that fails. It fails.
No.
Robert's board, you only count those that are present and voting. You know, the exceptions are not counted for purposes of the negative vote. So, your turn.
True.
Let me look.
There you go.
If I could just have a moment to verify
Yes,
that?
yes, please.
Okay.
And then we'll, in the middle of the meeting, I'll come back with something. We can bring this item back, okay? Thank you.
We're moving on to item 6C, amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by authorizing the issuance of a conditional use permit for a child daycare on Lot 9, Block 2, Town East Subdivision, located at 3417 West Fiesta Loop.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant, Amazing Kids Learning Center, as the owner, and we have Edilberto Ramirez as the applicant. Property location is Lot 9, Block 2, Town East Subdivision, located at 3417 West Fiesta Loop. Zone change is a conditional use permit. Proposed use is for a child daycare center. Zoning district is an R1. Letters sent were 22. We have none for and none against. Background, on November 20th, 2006, City Council made a motion to approve a conditional use permit for a child daycare. And the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the CUP and staff supported. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item? In favor? Is the applicant present?
Yes.
Would you like to come up? No. Okay. Anyone who wishes to speak against this conditional use permit? Okay. Are there any questions from the commission for staff or the applicant?
Just to start, you are supporting, right?
Yes.
She meets everything, all the requirements.
Yeah, this was previously issued. It had a conditional use permit previously at this location. It remains exactly the same sort of use. In essence, it's just issuing the permit to the new owner.
Oh, okay. Perfect, thank you.
What sort of action? There's no other questions. What sort of action would the commission like to take?
Motion to approve. Close. Motion to close public hearing and support
Staff's recommendation.
staff recommendation.
We have a motion by Commissioner Sabas and a second by Commissioner Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
If we could please bring back for consideration our item 6B of the agenda?
Yeah, motion to, please.
Motion to bring back 6B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay, motion carries.
If I may, thank you very much for the opportunity to look up the rule. I appreciate your patience.
Yes.
According to section 24.1.1.1.3, duties and powers of the Planning and Zoning Commission, it states the following: the adoption of the plan or any such part, amendment, extension, or addition shall be by resolution carried by the affirmative votes of not less than a majority of members of the commission. So since it's a majority of the commission and not present members, then you would need 5 votes in order for this approval to move forward.
Okay.
That is based on the Land Development Code.
5 votes
5 votes to approve,
to approve.
because that would be an amendment to the plan, the comprehensive plan, or the zoning map.
Okay, so if we had 4,
Since you only had 4 supporting the rezone, then it would not go through. It would be a denial.
Recommendation of it down.
It would be a recommendation of now because there wasn't enough requisite votes for the approval.
Okay. Yeah.
no me queda claro. O
So,
sea,
you need-
si dice que la mayoría, the majority is, and we are 7 here.
The majority of everybody, even the
Ah,
ones that
of
aren't here.
everybody, the majority
Yes.
cuentan
It's-
los que no están.
Exactly. It's a no less than a majority of the members of the commission. There are 9 members on the commission.
Yeah,
It doesn't say of those present. If it were to say of those present, then there would be enough. I'm just going off what the land development code
Yeah,
says,
yeah,
that,
got it.
based on a reading.
I didn't understand that part.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it's because it's the whole, we got
Yes.
4 and it doesn't go through.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
fails.
So if motion fails, don't we need a new motion?
I would say, I mean, that is a very good question. I would imagine that
Either way.
there wouldn't be enough votes
it wouldn't
for the opposite.
For the opposite.
So I just think the application would fail because there wasn't enough to approve of the application.
Yeah.
That would be my interpretation.
And this goes also to city council.
Correct. Yes, it would go to city council. Obviously, since there is a denial, there would be an appeal by the applicant, and that appeal would be heard by city council, where they would only require a vote of 5 members. It used to be the supermajority rule, but then it was
They just
amended. Now
changed it.
there's only a need for 5 votes to overrule this commission's denial.
So it still goes to the city council?
Yes.
It still goes to city council, yes, sir.
So those present understand as far as what's happened? Yes? Okay.
Perfect.
Next.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 6D, amending the zoning ordinance map of City of Laredo by authorizing the issuance of a special use permit for a mini storage warehouse on Lot 3B, Block 2,
Yes, it is.
HRC subdivision, Unit 2, located at 2110 Quail Creek Road.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have Quail Creek Storage LLC as the owner, and we have Marty Hudak as the representative. Property location is Lot 3B, HRC subdivision, Unit 2, located at 2110 Quail Creek Road. Zone change request is a special use permit. Proposed uses for mini storage warehouse. Letter sent 23, we have none for, none against. Some background, on December 3rd, 2012, the City Council made a motion to approve a special use permit for mini storage warehouse. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the SUP and staff support. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this special use permit? Is the applicant here? Yes, would you like to come forward? No, you're fine also. Okay.
Le tienen miedo al micrófono.
Anyone who wishes to speak against this special use permit? Are there any questions from the commission for staff or for the applicant in regards to this special use permit?
Staff supports, right?
Yes.
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 Motion to close public hearing and go with staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion, Commissioner Sabas, and a second by Commissioner Portillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
I have
There's double,
see, there's a
Yeah.
double D.
so there's 2 Ds.
There's 2 Ds here,
on the
just so you
agenda,
can
And
know.
also on the.
Oh, wow.
Did
That's
you
why
see?
asked me, right?
Yes, but they are a different,
Separate.
they are
They're
different
separate
items.
items.
They're separate items.
I don't think there's a 5 either. I don't
Do we
believe.
clarify, do we,
Do we need to,
well, there,
is that gonna, would that be an issue? No, right?
there's,
No.
The last- the last 2 digits are
It's
different.
a clerical error.
Okay.
The only thing that matters is that the people reading this were, given notice that this was gonna happen. So
Okay.
we're
We're
completely
good.
fine.
Yeah.
And they were.
Absolutely.
They were
And they were,
noticed.
and as long as it was published in a certain amount of time, and it was made available to the public, and they were invited to a time and place for the public hearing.
okay. So, moving on to the next item, 6D.
D, 6D1.
Second 60.
Second 6D.
DD.
We'll go 6D, One.
Yes. Amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning approximately 2.20 acres as further described by meets and bounds in attached Exhibit A located south of FM 1472 and west of Benner Ranch Road from AG Agricultural District to M1 Light Manufacturing District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have All Carriers Inc. as the owner, and we have Daniel Gomez as representative. Property location, approximately 2.20 acres, located south of FM 1472 and west of Ben Nur Road. Zone change request is AG to M1. Proposed use is industrial. The applicant did not specify the proposed use. Letter sent for 5. We have none for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wish to speak in favor of this item?
Good evening to all. I'm Daniel Gomez, on behalf of the owners who are seeking the zone change.
Are there any questions for?
No questions.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak against this item?
Motion to close public hearing and go with staff's support of the proposed zone change.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Salapas. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6E. Amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning lots 1, 2, and 3, Block 1, Luisa Garcia subdivision, Phase 1, located at 23911, 23915, and 23919, FM 1472, from AG Agriculture District to M1 Light Manufacturing District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have WW Rolling Investments and W. Herschel Bradley as the owner. We have Ricardo Ramos as representative. Property location, lots 1, 2, and 3, Block 1, Luisa Garcia subdivision, Phase 1, located at 23911, 23915, and 23919, FM 1472. Zone change request is AG to M1. Proposed use is a commercial parking lot for a trucking company. Letter sent for 8. We have none for and none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item? Anyone?
Rudy Garcia would do right. I'm just here.
Okay. You can just state your name for the record in case anyone has any questions.
Rudy Garcia would do right. I'm just here if you have any questions.
Any questions?
Thank you. No questions.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak against this item? If not, what sort of action would the commission like to take?
Motion to close public hearing and go with the recommendation from staff to
Yep.
support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Garcia,
Second.
second by Commissioner Casares. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6F. Amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning approximately 58.709 acre tract of land, 2,557,380 square feet, as further described by meets and bounds in attached Exhibit A, located south of St. Luke Boulevard and west of Cuatro Vientos Road, from R1A, Single Family Reduced Area District, to AG Agricultural District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have Celito Lindo Ltd. and Crown Properties Partners Ltd. as owners, Howland Engineering as the applicant representative. Property location, approximately 58.709 acres, located south of St. Luke Boulevard and west of Cuatro Vientos Road. Zone change request is R1A to AG. Proposed use is a cemetery. Letter sent were 8. We have none for and none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who speak in favor of this item?
Good afternoon, Dana Vital with Howland Engineering, and we are in favor.
Are there any questions for the engineer applicant? Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak against this item?
Proposed use of cemetery. Good. Close it.
Are there any questions for staff from the commission?
No.
If not,
Hi, sorry.
To close the hearing.
A motion to close public hearing and go with staff recommendation.
Second.
we have a motion, a second by Commissioner Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Another abstention.
Oh, one abstention. Commissioner Duncan.
Yes.
Moving on to item 6G, amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 234.4516 acres at Lot 15, Block 3, Vista del Sur subdivision, Phase 3, located north of Pitamangana Road and east of US Highway 83 and 4016 Calibri Drive from R1 Single Family Residential District, R1A Single Family Reduced Area District, and AG Agricultural District to R1B Single Family High Density Residential District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have Cielo Vista Laredo LLC as the owner, Pat Murphy as the applicant, and Slay Engineering Ramiro Ibarra as representative. Property location, approximately 234.4516 acres, and Lot 15, Block 3, Vista del Sur subdivision, Phase 3, located north of Pitamangana Road and east of US Highway 59. It's east of US Highway 83. And 4016 Calibri Drive. Zone change request is R1, R1A, and AG to R1B. Proposed use is residential. Letters sent were 271. We have none for and none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this zone change?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Ramiro Ibarra from Slay Engineering. I'm here representing my client, Cielo Vista Laredo, and we are for the proposed zone change. I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions? Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak against this item?
Good evening, everyone. For the record, my name is Kevin Otero Ramos, resident at 3912 Texas Drive at the proximity of the proposed area. Ladies and gentlemen of the Laredo City Planning and Zoning Commission, esteemed stakeholders and fellow citizens, I stand before you as a concerned resident, Kevin Otero Ramos, as I said earlier, a Master in Science and Environmental Planning, and a Bachelor in Science and Chemistry graduated from the Inter-American University of Puerto Rico. I am a homeowner at 3912 Texas Drive, Laredo, Texas, along with my beloved family. And the purpose of my presence here is to address the zoning change petition of approximately 234 acres of land located in close proximity to my property's backyard. Upon conducting thorough research using GIS tools and for everyone's awareness, I've confirmed that this area houses a natural pond spanning 1.48 acres and a creek with a stream system that extends 1.5 kilometers. This stream system is surrounded by sloping terrain and a vegetative buffer consisting of common shrubs, small trees, and other herbaceous vegetation along both sides. Contemplating for hours such natural landscape from my backyard or to my windows at my home brings utmost sanity and inner peace, not only to myself, but also to my beloved mother, a cancer patient who is currently residing with me and is under my care. Certainly, some of the early magnificent things in life cannot be acquired with money. For me and my family, enjoying these little moments throughout the day are simply one of them. Scientific literature shows that water bodies, such as ponds, rivers, streams, and canals, provide not only property market value to nearby properties, but also invaluable aesthetic, recreational, and social cultural benefits to such. Also, studies have shown that by preserving and enhancing natural resources like these, we can create recreational opportunities for neighbors and future visitors. To that effect, have you all realized, for us living at the south side of Laredo, we do not have that many natural parks nor recreational centers available in comparison with those living at the north side. In my case, the closest park to me is Santa Fe Park, which is 2.5 miles away from my house. I urge you all to reflect on that. On the same note, other case studies showed that preserving natural resources like lakes, ponds, and streams are essential to habitat for local flora and fauna. They maintain biodiversity and improve storm water management within our city to minimize flooding, which we all know how poor flooding control measures within some areas of our city are affecting us, and they could have been avoided by implementing those options that leverage existing natural resources like such to achieve a more efficient storm management in our city. It is crucial to note that these concerns that are set already as goals in Viva Laredo document, our city's comprehensive plan for urban and economic development for years to come. Noteworthy, it is our city policy to incorporate the expansion and creation of wetlands, lakes, ponds into park systems in order to complement urban design and enhance parks and natural habitat, and also protect the community from floods and reduce the risk of flood damage. By improving the request zoning change, we may inadvertently jeopardize these objectives and limit the potential for more diverse and sustainable development of our city. As a fellow citizen, I strongly urge the Planning and Zoning Commission to consider the long-term benefits of preserving these valuable natural resources and reject the proposed zoning change requested as is now. Instead, I suggest you all consider the following urban development option for the area in question, which is the following. Having the pond, the stream, and its vegetative buffer be designated with AG zoning code. This zoning code would allow future developers the opportunity to create trails, green belts, and linear parks to provide connections among other parks, schools, neighborhoods, and natural open spaces that prioritize environmental conservation and sustainable growth for our city. I look forward to your fruitful deliberation and decision on this matter. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you.
No questions.
So currently, the zone is R1A.
R1, right?
Yeah. And a little bit of
There's AG, I think
There's
there's
some AG.
multiple zonings on
Right.
site.
So there's
Some
multiple-
AG.
But that's to the west, I think.
So it's about-
Is R1 and R1A
R1 be a little bit,
and AG.
And the pond is an R1 currently.
In regards to like the pond and the creek system that he was referring
Yeah,
to,
there's an approved master plan for that area that
Right.
does show a pond, a number of proposed parks and detention, sort of running through the middle of
could you
it.
just kind of explain for the public and for the?
Yes,
Just-
my client bought this property a few years back, maybe a couple of years ago, and the intent is to develop this property for single-family residential, most of it, except for whatever is adjacent to Highway 83. That will be very similar to what Walmart and the Peter Piper that is there and those commercial sites. But the rest, what we're rezoning right now will be single-family residential. We are proposing a linear park as part of our master plan, and actually
We're gonna attempt to show the master plan, if we can.
it does conserve the pond and that, no?
Yes, we, obviously the pond or the existing,
There you go.
the existing pond is in the low where water's naturally going through there,
Yeah.
and that is phase 13. And we're gonna try to preserve as much as we can of that area, and then we're gonna do a linear park, which is immediately adjacent to the detention pond system that we will have there. And it's also adjacent to Dolly Richter Boulevard, which is the major or minor
Artery.
arterial road that we're connecting from east to west.
And is it a park that will be open to the public?
Yes, it will be land dedicated to the city of Laredo.
Oh, okay.
There will be open space. The idea is to have some sort of a trail since it's a long, like a long road. We'll have trail system and also, well, it's dedicated to the city of Laredo, so whatever the park department wants to do with it.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, I mean, I think the R1, what you currently have, switching to R1B is to lot the subdivision with smaller lots. But
bit smaller, yes.
right now you could develop as an R1 that area.
Yes.
But the plan, since even R1 prior to this was to conserve the pond and have surrounding it a park, and so you would still be able to develop it even without the R1B, just with
That's correct, yes.
lots. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for staff? Oh,
No.
yes, sir.
My name is Daniel Cummings. I live on top of the hill in the middle of the ranch here.
Okay.
I've been there 24 years, and it's a beautiful place. And it's shocking to see everything move in. And I'm for progress. I'm the pastor of the church. We have a church there in the house, and we're planning on building the church there.
So you're for
It's
the,
in Horace Watson's old house.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Was he opposed or was he?
You're for the zone change, sir?
Use for progress.
Or just for progress?
I'm a part, and I'm for progress, but in the right direction.
All right. Thank you.
Motion to close public hearing and go with staff recommendation to support the
R1B.
R1B.
I second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Sabas and a second by Commissioner Martinez. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
I abstain.
We have another abstention. Commissioner Arquette.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
A lot of abstention.
At the end of the meeting, I'll.
Moving on to item,
7A.
7A.
Mhm.
Moving on to review and consideration of the following master plan. Item 7A. Review the revision of Southeast Commercial Master Plan at Buena Vista Ranch. The intent is commercial. The purpose of this revision is to reconfigure phases.
Yes, for the record, the applicant is Buena Vista Ranch Land Development Company, engineer is Topside Civil Group. Proposed use is commercial, and the zoning for this five-phase development is B4. Location view, aerial view, revised master plan, staff comments planning, fire and traffic safety, and the proposed motion.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the commission. My name is Jaime Garcia from Topside Civil Group. I'm here just to say that we concur with the comments. Do you have any questions for me?
Perfect. Are there any questions for the engineer?
No.
If not, over staff?
Motion to approve subject to the following, the staff comments.
We have a motion.
Second.
Second.
Second Portillo.
We have a motion, Commissioner Martinez, and a second, Commissioner Portillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Sorry? Abstention. Okay, we have abstention by Commissioner Martinez.
Sorry, if I have to say it every time, I apologize.
So motion carries. Sorry, okay. Moving on to consideration of the following preliminary plats and preliminary replats. Item 8A, preliminary consideration of the plat of Southeast Commercial Subdivision Phase 2 in Buena Vista Ranch. The intent is commercial.
Sir, for the record, the applicant again, it's Buena Vista Ranch Land Development Company, engineer Topside Civil Group. Proposed use is commercial. The zoning for this one land development is B4. Location view, aerial view, the proposed plat, staff comments planning, fire and traffic safety, and the proposed motion.
Thank you. Yes,
Again, Jaime Garcia with Topside Civil Group. We concur with the comments.
perfect. Any questions? Thank you. Can I have a motion by commission?
Motion to approve subject to comments.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Portillo and a second by Commissioner Sala Paz. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries, and I believe, no, Commissioner Marquez is not present, so, okay, so on that one. Moving on to item 8B, preliminary consideration of the plat of Los Presidentes East Subdivision, Phase 4. The intent is residential.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is Hilltop Farm. Engineer is Holland Engineering and Surveying Company. Proposed use is residential. The zoning for this 134 lot development is AG and R1A. Location view, aerial view, the proposed plat, staff comments, planning, and traffic safety, and the proposed motion.
Thank you.
Commission, Dana Vidal with Howland Engineering, and we concur with all the department's comments.
Perfect. Are there any questions for the engineer?
Was there just a revision to the master plan or something like that, or what was it?
No, it is my understanding that we had to have some meetings with parks, and those meetings were held, and that's why we're back on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. There's no other questions?
Motion to approve subject to comments.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Martinez. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Moving on to item 8C, preliminary consideration of the plat of Lot 2, Block 1, Alexander Commercial Subdivision, Phase 13. The intent is commercial.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is D&J Alexander Investments, engineers Premier Engineering Surveying. Proposed use is commercial. The zoning for this one lot development is B3. Location view, aerial view, proposed plat, staff comments planning, and the proposed motion.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, planning staff. I'm Sergio Narvaez with Premier Engineering and representing the owner of this property. We reviewed the comments provided for the staff and we concur with everyone.
Perfect.
So we are here to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for the engineer? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to approve subject to comments.
Yeah, motion by Commissioner Salazar, second by Commissioner Garcia, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to consideration of the following final plats and final replats. If there's no objection by the commission or staff to hear items 9A through 9C together.
Motion to hear 9A, 9B, 9C.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Caceres. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Motion to approve 9A, 9B, 9C.
Second. Second by Commissioner Caceres. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Can we now read those into record?
Yes, sir. For the record, final consideration of the replat of lots 1, 2, 3, and 4, Block 1, Town North Center into lots 1A and 2A, Block 1, Town North Center, approved. Final consideration of the replat of Lot 1, Block 1, Laredo Morning Times into lots 1A and 1B, Block 1, Laredo Morning Times, approved. And finally, final consideration of the plat of Phoenix Village Subdivision Phase 12, approved.
Thank you. Now moving on to consideration of model subdivision compliance. Item 10A, consideration of model subdivision road compliance to the plat of Palm Lake subdivision phase 1, the intensive residential, proposed actions approval. Can I have a motion of action on this item? Motion for 10A.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Garcia.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Salazar. All in favor? Against? Motion carries, one abstention.
Hey, go to 10A.
Are we okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Are we really?
Pero fíjate que este y este tienen lo mismo.
Yeah, we were trying to just understand the plat that was submitted, that was all.
Okay, but we're okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're okay.
Before we adjourn, do we have any director's comments?
No, we have nothing to report this evening.
All right, then,
Mr. I'd
yes.
just like to explain myself. I was advised before the meeting, since I'm running for office, that maybe I should abstain until we get some clarification as to what, we're out of an abundance of caution. I think don't want to jeopardize any of the rulings that went on today. So I was happy with that, and we'll figure it out, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
So thank you all.
No, thank you for the clarification. Appreciate that. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. Motion by Commissioner Martinez, a second by Commissioner Caceres. All in favor? Against? Motion carries to adjourn.